Oh, at least you got here before dawn.
Who are you, anyway? When did you join the Cabal?
Hello, I'm Louise, and I'm joined today by Leon.
Hello.
And we are talking about Mirror's Edge Catalyst.
Yes. Which is all right.
Oh dear, it's not a good start.
I feel really bad because it's...
Well, let's set the scene first.
Okay, so
Yeah,
Mirror's Edge Catalyst is a prequel to Mirror's Edge. Faith is a younger runner. It starts with her getting out of prison. There's issues with debt, and the city is run by Kruger, who has this corporation called Kruger Sec. So it's like kind of Coca-Cola is now the government kind of thing. So she comes into the world. She's a young runner. She falls into. She has some problems with some crime lords, and the story progresses. But basically, you just run around the city a lot, kind of doing stuff. And I really, really want to like it because the mechanics of running are fun. You know, you can hop over things, you can slide under pipes. It's basically the same as the first game. You have the way it works is like our L1 is jump and L2 is slide. But you can do things like if you jump with L1 and then tap L2, you'll lift your feet up higher, so you clear small obstacles. If you hold the button down longer, you do bigger jumps. So you can make these nice runs and zoom around the city and roll and slide along walls and all this sort of stuff. But it does that as well within the first couple of hours as it does at the end.
Yep.
And it's now in an open world where before it used to be linear. So you have this huge open world where you're just sort of running all the time. And I found myself about 3 or 4 hours into the game thinking, like, is this too much running?
So as an open world, what's it like to explore?
It's bereft, it's barren, it's like a deserted apple shop.
Right.
So you're on the rooftops and you can see cars and things down below. But the rooftops, I mean, obviously it's not going to be like GTA, but there's like a few people dotted around. Sometimes there's like a set decoration person. There's 2 people sat on a bench in a museum somewhere that are there for the whole game.
Enjoying their sit down, clearly.
Just sat there for like 8-9 hours. There's some people that scattered around. There's people that give you missions, but essentially it's a big open plain of rooftops and an odd person somewhere, usually wanting you to carry a fragile parcel or something like that. Yeah. That's another problem as well, because the only thing that brings the world to life is you running through it.
Yeah.
And after sort of 8-9 hours, however long it took me to finish it, you sort of there's a limit to how much you can sort of enjoy that.
There's also the sort of addition quite a lot more combat, right? So how does that play out?
But the combat again, it's like when they first introduced it in a tutorial, like, this is interesting. I like this. So you have a system of you've got like weak attacks that are you just sort of flail your fists at them a bit. When you're running, you can actually use that to basically shove people out the way. So like the first game, it's about trying to not fight. So you'll be running towards some guards. You'll do like a light attack and you'll push someone out the way and you can keep going. But there's another sort of fighting system where you'll lock onto someone and you can use R2 to basically dodge left and right, and then triangle or top button whatever to do like a big swinging leg kick, which makes them stumble left or right, forwards or backwards. So the way it works is you're dodging around people, and if you can get near a railing, you do this big swinging kick and they go over the railing. Yeah. In the tutorial, we introduced that. That's really exciting. It's really interesting. You're like one-on-one with a person, and you're like dodging and shifting and trying to get them in a position where you can get rid of them. In the game, when you have to fight, and there's a few sections where you have to fight, they throw you in against sort of 4, 5, 6 enemies. There'll be a guy with a gun, there'll be like a light melee class who has like a stick, there's a heavy melee class, there's like an electric blast, there's like an uber cyber ninja guy that is like the hardest guy in the game. And they'll throw in 5 of these at once, and then suddenly this one-on-one fighting system that works so well against a single guard is just sort of impossible to use. Oh. So again, it's like you can see where it's doing these really nice ideas, and it's got these sort of great, I don't know, it's trying its best, but none of it kind of works over eventually the sort of the whole game, which goes on for it's a good sized campaign, 8 or 9 hours maybe, and there's lots of side stuff. I did about half the side stuff, but mainly focused on the main story. But yeah, the ideas just don't carry for the whole time.
Yeah, I think you said earlier in the office that it's a game about running, that you feel like there's too much running in. Yeah. Now, as I compared it to, you don't have games about shooting where there's too much shooting. It doesn't vary it enough.
Well, this is the thing I was thinking, like, because you mentioned this before, yeah, and if you're shooting, like, there is a variation to the shooting. You have different guns. You have bits where you don't shoot as much. You have bits where you shoot a lot. Yeah. With this, the general flow of running in a line, jumping, sliding, wall running, that's the same pretty much at the beginning all the way through. And you're doing it if you're getting to a mission. You're doing it when you're doing a mission. You're doing it for a side quest. Yeah. So as fun as it is, and there are some amazing moments when you pop your legs over an air conditioning unit, you can grab on pipes to swing around corners, you slide down a thing, leap off a railing, land 20 foot below with a perfectly timed roll, and then take off without losing any speed. They can be amazing, but there's not quite the same sense of thrill and risk to it I think that the first game had, where if you did fluff a move, you lost loads of speed and you felt like you'd failed kind of somehow. But with this, if you do fluff a move, it doesn't really make that much difference. It doesn't feel like there's a huge difference between continuing and failing.
So I think we can really conclude with the fact that you really wanted to I know you really wanted to like it, and it's just kind of made you sad.
It's not unenjoyable, but it just didn't click. All the good ideas just didn't mesh together quite well enough for me.
So with that in mind, what is the score that you're giving Mirror's Edge Catalyst?
I'm going to give it 3 stars out of 5.
So that's it. That's our Mirror's Edge Catalyst review. You can obviously read the review around here, or if you want more information, keep it to GamesRadar.